Right now on Good Morning America First Look, new details on the vote expected on Capitol Hill today to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. And new overnight, the former president of Harvard and Bill Clinton's former Treasury Secretary, whose ties to Epstein were revealed in new emails, makes a major announcement.
Happening today, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia visits the White House for the first time since the murder of a Washington Post columnist and Saudi critic, Jamal Khashoggi. The business and military deals expected to be announced.
A man opens fire on two house cleaners who showed up at the wrong address. He says he thought they were trying to break into his house. The woman, a mother of four, was killed. Was the homeowner justified?
A developing story, the urgent search for 25 schoolgirls kidnapped overseas.
The airline pilot accused of trying to crash a plane after taking mushrooms avoids prison time. The judge explains why.
More tourists behaving badly at Yellowstone. A man walking up to these wolves, another man approaching a bear.
Former President Bush on Monday Night Football opening up to the Manning brothers on following in your father's footsteps.
And later, the boy and his popcorn bucket stealing the show.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
I'm Maggie Rulli, and we begin with new fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein case. The former president of Harvard and Bill Clinton's former Treasury Secretary now saying he will step back from public life over his connections to Epstein.
That announcement from Larry Summers comes as Congress prepares to vote today on releasing the Epstein files. ABC's Lionel Moise has the overnight developments.
With House lawmakers set to vote this afternoon, President Trump now says he would sign a bill to release the FBI files on sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it.
The House Rules Committee approved a two-thirds supermajority threshold, meaning about 75 Republicans and all Democrats must support the bill to pass it.
How many Republicans do you expect to vote for this?
I think it'll be a large vote tally.
Despite promising during the campaign to release the files, Trump has fought for months to prevent this. The White House last week calling Congresswoman Lauren Boebert to the Situation Room to meet with the Attorney General and FBI Director in an apparent attempt to get her to change her vote on releasing the files.
These are friends that I work with. It's okay to have conversations. There was nothing. I felt no pressure.
All of this coming after the House Oversight Committee released thousands of documents from Epstein's estate. In one email from 2017, Epstein writing, "I have met some very bad people. None as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. So yes, dangerous." In a 2018 text to an unidentified person, Epstein claiming, "I am the one who was able to take him down." Some Republicans were already preparing to join Democrats and vote to release the files before Trump late Sunday reversed course. The president now telling Republicans to release them, something Trump himself could do at any time without congressional action.
It is really horrific, and it's going to shock the conscience of this country, really, what took place.
At the National Gallery of Art, Epstein survivors last night projecting images from a public service announcement showing the age they were when they met him.
We are tapping into those youngest parts of ourselves and saying we're doing it for that little person that used to exist. And we're doing it for women.
Remaining hopeful but skeptical about the president's intentions.
Keep your word, please, and release these files.
Trump last week directed the Justice Department to investigate Epstein's ties to high-profile Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton. And overnight, Larry Summers, Clinton's former Treasury Secretary and former president of Harvard, whose conversations with Epstein were part of that release, announced he's now stepping back from public life, saying, "I am deeply ashamed of my actions and recognize the pain they have caused." And if the bill to release the files passes the House, it would then move to the Senate, where the timeline is unclear. But even if the bill makes it to the president's desk, critics worry the Justice Department could still redact information, and that's because of the new investigation Trump ordered into Epstein's ties to Democrats. Sophie, Maggie?
Lionel, thank you. There could be a major setback in the Justice Department's investigation into former FBI Director James Comey. The judge finding evidence of, quote, profound missteps on the part of U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan. He ordered prosecutors to turn over the transcript of Halligan's grand jury presentation on charges of lying to Congress and obstruction. Another judge is giving the government time to respond.
The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia visits the White House today after years away from Washington. It's his first visit since the killing of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has details. Hey, Nicole, good morning.
Well, Maggie, good morning to you. The visit comes as the Trump administration and Saudi Arabia prepare to unveil billions of dollars in defense and business deals. As you mentioned, it's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's first visit since U.S. intelligence found he likely directed that 2018 murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Now, the fallout from the murder damaged the Crown Prince standing in the West, but he and President Trump have had a warm relationship, and Trump is now supporting a plan to sell F-35 fighter jets to the Saudis, a move some U.S. officials fear could expose sensitive technology to China. The administration also facing pushback from Israel, concerned about maintaining its military edge in the region. The White House is now pressing Saudi Arabia to normalize ties with Israel as part of Trump's broader peace plan for Gaza. But to make that happen, Saudi leaders want to see a clear path to Palestinian statehood, something Israel has rejected. And today's meetings will also cover Iran, and the Saudis are expected to make a big investment in U.S. artificial intelligence. Sophie.
Nicole, thank you. A round-the-clock effort is underway in Nigeria to find and rescue 25 girls kidnapped from their school. Officials say bandits attacked the school yesterday. Armed groups have been targeting schools in northern Nigeria for years. This attack comes amid a campaign of violence frequently targeting Christians.
After more than 100 arrests in Charlotte, Raleigh, North Carolina is bracing for a surge of immigration agents. Local officials are slamming the immigration crackdown, which left suspects running through shopping centers and other areas trying to escape. Homeland Security insists agents are detaining violent criminals. The government claims they're stoking fear.
Now to Indiana and the homeowner opening fire on 2 house cleaners who showed up at the wrong address. The woman, a mother of 4, was killed. The question now, was the homeowner justified?
This morning, prosecutors in Indiana have charged a man with voluntary manslaughter for the shooting death of a cleaning woman who showed up at the wrong address.
This is an important step towards accountability, truth, and justice.
32-year-old Maria Florinda Rios Perez de Velasquez mistakenly arrived at this home in suburban Indianapolis with her husband just before 7 a.m. Police say the 2 residents inside thought they were intruders and called 911. But in the 5 minutes between the call and when police arrived, one of the residents, 62-year-old Kurt Anderson, shot through the door, hitting the mother of 4 in the head. Her husband saying, "She fell into my arms and I saw the blood. It was everywhere." Anderson told investigators when he looked through the window, he saw people thrusting at the door, so he fired a single shot. He acknowledges he never announced himself and the door never opened.
The person did not have a reasonable belief that that type of force was necessary, given all the facts that he had at that time.
But Anderson's lawyer points to Indiana's self-defense laws, saying they allow a person to use reasonable force, including deadly force, if he reasonably believes that such force is necessary to prevent an unlawful entry into his home. As for the victim's family, they say they're hoping to prevent another tragedy like this from happening again.
Perhaps Maria will not return to us, but the children and the family demand justice so that other families do not have to go through what we are going through.
Now, if convicted, Anderson faces up to 30 years in prison.
A Florida man was caught on camera trying to get away on a stolen forklift after allegedly stealing an ATM. Now, he may have thought he was in the clear until Tallahassee police showed up. A short chase later, he's now in custody. Also in Florida, another bizarre arrest. A man who escaped from a jail in Sumter County jumped into a pond only to emerge covered in what can only be described as green guck. There he is.
Time now for your Tuesday weather.
Good morning. Southern California finally gets a break from the heavy rain today. It's more showery, but the heavy rains have moved inland. Flood watches out from Nevada into parts of Arizona. The heavy rain in Las Vegas today. There's another round coming in Thursday and Friday. More mountain snows up to a couple inches Southern California, even more than that over Arizona. Quiet across much of the country, some showers in the Great Lakes. Chilly start in the northeast, feels like 20s and 30s, but less wind over the next couple of days. Different story in the south. Record warm from Texas all the way to Georgia. 80s in Dallas today, could be near 80 in Atlanta on Thursday. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, more Americans are falling behind on their electric bills.
Also ahead, the airline pilot accused of trying to crash a plane after taking mushrooms avoids prison time. The judge explains why.
And the stunning new cost to replace the bridge that collapsed in Baltimore.
We're back with 2 New Jersey police officers rescuing a driver who was unconscious after this crash. One broke the window. They then pulled the 26-year-old to safety just moments, look at that, before the vehicle was engulfed in flames. It's unclear what caused the crash.
A hearing is being held today on the cause of the crash that brought down Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge. Now, 6 construction workers were killed when a ship hit the bridge last year. Officials now say rebuilding the bridge will cost $5 billion, double the initial estimate, and it won't reopen until 2030.
Now to the case of the former airline pilot accused of trying to crash a passenger plane in midair after taking mushrooms. A judge ruling he can now walk free without serving prison time. This morning, Joseph Emerson is a free man after a judge sentenced him to time served. The former pilot for Alaska Airlines was accused of trying to crash a flight after he had taken psychedelic mushrooms.
It's 30 seconds of my life I wish I could change, and I can't.
In October 2023, he was riding in the jump seat off duty on a flight from Everett, Washington to San Francisco when he says he began to hallucinate.
There was a feeling of being trapped. This is not real. I need to wake up.
He stood up in the cockpit and pulled these red handles, which are meant to shut off the engines in the case of a fire. But it didn't work. The flight landed safely, and Emerson was let off the plane in cuffs. Later charged with 83 counts of attempted murder, 1 for each person on board. 2 days earlier, he says he took mushrooms for the first time to cope with depression. He says he never sought treatment, fearing it would end his career.
There's a perception out there that if you raise your hand and say something's not right, there's a very real possibility that you don't fly again.
Prosecutors pushed for a 1-year prison sentence, but lawyers say Emerson was not aware that he has a rare condition, making the effects of psychedelic drugs last for days instead of hours. And the pilot who helped remove him from the cockpit asked the judge not to send Emerson to prison, warning it could discourage other pilots from seeking medical help. The judge agreed, saying pilots are not perfect, they are human, while noting that Emerson has already lost his career and is never allowed to fly a plane again.
His life has been turned upside down, overwhelmed that he's getting to be able to help lots of pilots and not be locked up.
Emerson spent 46 days in jail after his arrest. Since then, he started a nonprofit helping pilots focus on their mental health.
More Americans are falling behind on their electric bills. The new survey finds, on average, utility bills rose 12% this year. The number of past due balances rose by about the same amount, just under 10%. And this would be an easy way to pay your bills. Nobody won last night's Powerball jackpot, so tomorrow's jackpot grows to $593 million.
Not bad. Coming up, another star athlete is the victim of a crime during a game.
Also ahead, more bad behavior at Yellowstone. A man approaches the wolves. Back now with a misplaced rifle sparking an investigation. A driver in Des Moines spotting that rifle on top of a moving patrol car. She alerted the officer at a red light. Police say it was left behind by a different officer before a shift change.
Another star athlete has been the victim of a home burglary. This time, Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders. It happened while he was playing Sunday. It's unclear what, if anything, was stolen. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce went through similar ordeals last season.
We turn now to Yellowstone National Park and another close encounter with another tourist behaving badly.
This shocking video from Yellowstone National Park shows a man getting dangerously close to a pack of black wolves.
This could end very badly for that guy.
Bystanders watching in horror as the man moves towards them.
So he kept approaching, and we're like, oh my word, this is crazy. And then they noticed him and they started actually going towards him.
He then deploys what appears to be bear spray, but the wolves are undeterred.
People need to understand, wolves are not inherently aggressive animals that are going to go after humans. Do not approach the wolves. The wolves want nothing to do with you.
The wolves eventually retreat and the man walks away. Previously, the park has seen troubling close encounters with bison, like this case in July. Just last month, this man getting too close to a bear. One witness saying, Mr. Orange Coat is really lucky. That bear was feeling chill. But people getting too close to wildlife is a trend that extends far beyond Yellowstone's borders. This man in Florida was bitten in the leg by a shark while posing with it for a photo. Sean Muse says he was about to drag it back into the Gulf, but the lemon shark wasn't having it.
You don't know what a wild animal is going to do, so It happens. We're in his territory.
Tourists in Botswana recently learned that firsthand when they were charged by this elephant, which was protecting young calves in the area. One woman was trampled, but survived.
Animals are not malicious and mean, but they will protect their territory. People need to be intelligent and respect that.
National park rules require you to stay 100 yards away from bears and wolves and 25 yards away from all other wildlife.
Speaking of close encounters, this man in Washington state was enjoying a run when an owl swooped in and stole his hat. The man had someone recording next to him because he'd been attacked by an owl before. Wow, a lucky streak, I guess. All right, coming up, the repeat lottery winner who beat the longest of odds.
That's a lucky streak.
Yeah.
Plus, what former President Bush revealed to the Manning brothers during Monday Night Football. Time to check the pulse, and we begin with a special appearance during last night's Cowboys-Raiders game.
Yeah, avid Cowboys fan and former President George W. Bush speaking with Peyton and Eli Manning. All three of them followed in their father's footsteps. Bush revealing that his dad, who was the 41st president, did not push him into politics.
Dad was great. He was a guy that was a wonderful man, but he never said, this is what you have to do with your life. You know, he just said, here's this kind of way I'd like you to live, honesty and decency and compassion, but you be what you want to be.
Bush said he would have behaved better in college if he had known what the future held for him. As for the game, the Cowboys won 33-16. Next, a remarkable lucky streak for a New Jersey couple.
Yeah, they hit it big, winning a $1 million lottery jackpot, and a few months later, they did it again.
No way.
This time winning $3 million on a scratch-off.
Now, the odds of winning both are 1 in 2 trillion. Amazing.
They are lucky. Next, GameStop is hosting its first ever Trade Anything Day.
Let's look at this. On December 6th, you can trade just about anything for store credit. So, for example, if you want to get rid of old toys, electronics, maybe you have some taxidermy, you can trade it in. The only caveat, drugs and hazardous waste are among the few items not accepted. So I'm thinking challenge is on for the GMA First Look team.
Totally.
I want to see what you get away with. All right, first, our first look at the live-action remake of Moana.
It stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Maui and newcomer Catherine Lagaaya as Moana. The movie hits theaters next July. Meanwhile, Nintendo has released the first images from its live-action The Legend of Zelda movie. The movie comes out in 2027.
I'm excited for that.
And finally, a boy enjoying his popcorn.
Look at this little guy. He stole the show of the Phoenix Sun game, eventually giving a big wave to the Jumbotron. Just there, enjoying his popcorn. He's so cute. Checking more top stories, House lawmakers are expected to vote today on a bill to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. President Trump now says he'll sign the bill. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers now says he's stepping back from public life after emails with Jeffrey Epstein showed they were still in contact just before Epstein's 2019 arrest.
A Tennessee judge has blocked the National Guard deployment in Memphis, saying the governor went beyond his authority by sending in troops. The judge also put her order on hold to allow for an appeal.
The Prime Minister of Poland is blaming sabotage for an explosion that damaged a railway line used to deliver aid to Ukraine. No one was hurt, but look for possible ties to Russia.
Ford has inked a deal with Amazon to sell used cars through Amazon's website. Customers can browse, compare, and complete most of the paperwork online.
Today's weather, rain in the Midwest and possible flooding and mountain snow in the desert, Southwest, and parts of California.
And finally, checkups at the zoo.
Now, kids love watching them, as Danny New found out.
Ooh, what are these kids all gathered around to watch at the zoo?
Hi, friends.
Why, that would be a turkey vulture's wellness exam, of course.
I would say that probably the people who stand and watch the longest are kids and school groups who come through, and it really doesn't matter what we're doing.
Dr. Kaylee Anderson is a veterinarian at New Jersey's Turtleback Zoo, which, as of this year, has an animal treatment room with observation windows.
Prior to sort of having this window experience, people didn't even know that there was such a thing as a zoo vet.
Now, Dr. Anderson has an audience as her team draws blood from this bird and takes its x-rays.
It's not very common to have a window into a treatment room. More zoos are starting to do it as hospitals are being redone because of the value of the education. aspect and alerting people to exactly what happens at zoos and the kind of care we can provide.
To Dr. Anderson's point, there does seem to be growing transparency with animal treatment facilities. In October, folks were able to watch a lioness undergo dental surgery at the Big Cat Sanctuary in England. As you can see, there is a window in the back with one woman recording on her phone as an infected 8-centimeter tooth gets removed. Well, nothing that extreme during this exam in front of all the kiddos back in Jersey. However, the future veterinarians in attendance did not seem too fazed by any of the medical procedures.
I'm going to be a bone surgeon when I grow up, so I'm going to watch what they're going to do so I can learn what to do.
That's your future bone surgeon general right there, guys. By the way, Turtleback Zoo is located in West Orange, New Jersey, not to be confused with South Orange, home of Scrubs actor Zach Braff, and East Orange, home of Dionne Warwick.
We need bone surgeons like her.
Yeah, we do need bone surgeons like her.
That's our Good Morning America first look.
Have a great day.